Hi crochet friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Stefania and today I'm going to be showing you how I make my mushroom keychains. This is a beginner-friendly tutorial, so let me know in the comments if you have any questions and I'll be happy to help you out. You can use whatever yarn and hook you want for this tutorial, but I'll be using DK weight yarn and a 4mm Susan Bates hook. If you like this kind of video, give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what kinds of tutorials you would want to see next. Without any further ado, let's get into the tutorial. For this tutorial, you'll need a color for the cap of the mushroom, a color for the stem of the mushroom, some stuffing, a crochet hook, a yarn needle, and a pair of scissors. Starting with the color that you want to use for the cap of your mushroom and your crochet hook, we'll begin by making a magic circle. To start, you'll find the end of your yarn and wrap it around 2 of your fingers. You'll then insert your hook underneath these yarns and then take the yarn and wrap it behind your hook. And then you pull that loop through to the front. You'll then wrap your yarn around the hook again and pull through. You now have a magic ring. Next, you'll insert your hook into that ring, yarn over, pull the loop to the outside, and you'll have 2 loops on your hook. You'll then yarn over and pull through both of the loops. That'll be our first single crochet stitch into the magic ring. You'll repeat this process 2 more times, so hook goes into the ring, pull a loop through, yarn over, and pull a loop through 2. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull over, yarn over, pull through 2. We now have 3 stitches in our magic ring. If you want to make your mushroom into a keychain, I'll show you how to do that now. If you don't want it to be a keychain, you'll skip this step and just join in with the next single crochet into the magic ring. But here's how to add on a key ring. So we're going to chain 15. So just yarn over and pull through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. We'll then come back to the first chain here, insert our hook, yarn over, and slip stitch to close that loop. Now, if you're not making your mushroom into a keychain, here's where you'll join back in. We're going to insert the hook into the magic ring, yarn over, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. That makes 4 single crochets in our magic ring. We'll then do that 2 more times so that we have a total of 6 single crochets in our magic circle. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The next step is to find the end of the magic ring and pull that until our circle is closed. We'll then find the first stitch, insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through again. Insert that hook into the same stitch, so we're making it an increase, and do another single crochet. We're going to go ahead and increase into the next stitch as well. So insert your hook, yarn over, and pull through 2. Insert and grab a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 2 increases. Here's the third. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Insert into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So if you haven't included this keyring loop, you'll go ahead and ignore this, but we're going to make sure the loop stays on the outside of our mushroom. Now it might be tricky to find which stitch you'll want to insert your hook into, but we're just going to count backwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In the 9th stitch is where we're going to insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. and do the same stitch, insert, yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we'll do 2 more increased stitches. And we're done with round 2. For the next row, we're going to do 1 single crochet, so the same stitch we've been doing this whole time. And then in the next stitch, we'll do an increase, so 2 single crochets into that stitch. And you'll go ahead and do this 6 times, so you'll end up with 18 stitches. We're now going to go ahead and put a single crochet stitch into each of the 18 stitches. For the next round, we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches and then an increase, repeated 6 times. That will give us 24 stitches all the way around. You'll now go ahead and add 2 more rows of 24 stitches. So that's a single crochet stitch in each of the stitches. So once that's complete, you'll go ahead and just do a slip stitch into the next stitch. So yarn over, pull through, and instead of yarning over again, we're just going to pull that same loop through that first loop. Now you can also yarn over and chain 1, pull a bit of a tail, and then go ahead and cut. So that's the cap of our mushroom all complete. We'll now take the color we want to use for our stem and start a new piece in the magic ring again. So again, we'll take the end, wrap the working end around our fingers, put our hook underneath, yarn over, pull that loop through, yarn over and pull through. And there's our magic ring. Now we're going to put 6 single crochets into the magic ring. Once you have 6 stitches in your magic ring, we're going to go ahead and pull that to close. We'll then put increased stitches into each of the 6 initial stitches. Now that we have 12 stitches around, we're just going to continue with single crochets in each of the stitches to build up the length of the stem. You can make the mushroom your own by making the stem as long or as short as you would like. This is a great project to use up some of your scrap yarn with because it doesn't take very much to make a little mushroom. As you're building up the sides of your stem, at some point you'll want to make sure to flip it so that the right side is facing out. You can know which one is the right side because the noodle, as we call it in crochet, of your magic ring goes inside the bowl. If you're making a bunch of these mushrooms and want to make sure that the stem is all the same size, I'll show you a trick to see how many rows you've done. I like to start by looking at the initial magic ring, and you can kind of see where that first increase stitch happened. So I'm going to go ahead and continue my single crochets until I'm roughly at that same point. You can also use a stitch marker if you want to be very precise, but with organic shapes like a mushroom, I figure a little bit of variation is just natural. Okay, now that we're basically at the beginning of a round, we can start counting. So we have our initial magic ring here at the very center, and then this first circle is going to be the increases. After that, we can count the rows. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows that I've completed for my stem. I'm just going to see how that looks with my mushroom. Yeah, that's roughly the size I would want. So for the next round, I'm going to put increases in each of the stitches, but I'm going to make them double crochet stitches. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how we do this. First, we're going to yarn over and chain 1. Then we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the first stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And there's your double crochet stitch. We're going to do that again. So yarn over, insert into the same loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over, pull through 2 loops. There's your second double crochet stitch. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over and insert into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we're going to continue this pattern all the way around the circle. Now when we get back to the stitch where we did a chain 1, you can kind of see it because this is where we started our double crochet stitches. I'm just going to yarn over, and instead of inserting the hook here into the top of the stitch, I'm actually going to go into the base of the stitch where the chain 1 happened. And do a double crochet again. Then I'm going to find the top of this stitch of the first double crochet and slip stitch into that one. Now you can just chain 1 and pull a loop, but you want to make sure it's nice and long because we're going to be using it to sew the stem onto the cap and optionally adding some spots onto the cap if you feel like it. So here's where we need our yarn needle. Now when sewing these together, you're going to first insert the yarn needle into a full loop in the white, but then only into the inside loop of one of the red stitches. So instead of going through both loops like this, you'll just do one loop instead. Now you can go back and forth if you like, so insert through 1 and then 2, but I kind of prefer the look of going through the white into the red each time. And that kind of creates a cross over the yarn. So go ahead and start sewing your pieces together. Because we have 24 stitches in white and 24 stitches in red, you shouldn't have to do any fancy calculations. It should just be a 1-to-1 sewing together. Now, once you've gone about a third to halfway through, we're gonna make sure to remember to add our stuffing into the mushroom. So I still have a nice opening here. So I'm gonna grab my stuffing, pull a nice sized piece, and mostly stuff it into the stem to begin with, but you can see it kind of sticks out at top. I'll grab a little bit more and make that go into the cap of the mushroom. And then I'll continue sewing. Now again, before it's closed all the way up, you can kind of squish your mushroom around a bit and make sure there's enough stuffing in it to your liking. This one feels a little bit thin, so I'm gonna grab another bit of stuffing and add that in. Kind of can massage it in to make sure it's in the right spot. Yeah, that feels nice to me. Keep sewing until you're back into that first stitch. And your mushroom is sewn together. To tie it off, once you have your needle through the yarn, you can loop it around the needle and then feed it through the eye of the needle and pull through. That'll create a little knot into your yarn. And finally, we just need to hide this end. So go ahead and feed that back into your needle and just pull it through. You can either cut the tail of the yarn here, or I just like to use the back of the needle to stuff it inside. And there's your little mushroom. Now, I did mention adding some optional spots, which I'll show you how to do next. Since I didn't cut enough yarn to sew the pieces together and add the spots, I'm going to just take a new length of yarn. We'll feed that through the eye of the needle and pick a spot to insert our needle. You'll want to leave a little bit of tail still sticking out of the mushroom because that's where we'll tie it off later. I like to make my mushroom dots little hearts. To do that, I'll go through the mushroom like so. And then insert it back into the stitch where it came out and push my needle through to where I want the next spot to start. So you can see it has a little heart. I'll show that again. From the starting point, I'll go up into the next row, go through one of the stitches, pull the yarn through, and then insert it back into the base. Giving a little heart shape. To customize your mushroom further, you can make your spots circles or even add beads on if you feel like it. There's so many different varieties of mushrooms out there, you can really make yours your own. If you don't like where the yarn is coming out, you can always just feed your needle back through and pick a different spot. When you're done adding spots, feed your needle out through where the tail began. Now that we have the two ends coming out of the same hole, we can tie them together. For a nice secure knot, I do right over left, and then left over right. Pull that to secure. You can cut the tails, push those tails into the mushroom. And there we have it, our little mushroom keychain. I hope you enjoyed following along with this tutorial, and I can't wait to see what little mushrooms you all have made. This pattern took me about 40 minutes to make while filming this tutorial. Usually it takes me closer to 20 minutes, so once you've got the pattern more in mind, it should go a lot faster. But no stress if it takes longer, it's just part of the fun. If you make one for yourself and post it to Instagram, tag me at @artbystefania. I'd love to see what you made. If you liked this video, make sure you leave a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below what you want to see a tutorial for next. If you loved the video, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on the next video. I'm aiming to release a new video every week, including check-in videos, more crochet tutorials, and other craft content. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!